Well, hello, and welcome to my latest video, movie review time, The Salt Path, starring Jason Isaacs and Gillian Anderson, and based on a book by Raina Wynn. What's it like? Is it any good? Should you spend your money? Well, stick around and you'll find out. Now, first of all, I read the book of The Salt Path and finished it actually last week, and it is a book by this lady Raina Wynn, and it recounts a 630-mile walk on the southwest coast path of England with her husband, which they undertake due to a series of unfortunate circumstances. They are made homeless and they decide to do this walk because that's basically the only thing they can do and the only thing that they can afford to do. And following this walk, Raina Wynn wrote the book, and it became what they call in the trade a Sunday Times international bestseller, and having made, I imagine, a few bob from it, and somebody asking her if she wants to sell the film rights, Raina Wynn, and who can blame her, said yes, and so somebody decided to make a film about it. Now, the book I really enjoyed. The film is just, it just doesn't work. Now, why doesn't it work? Well, for a couple of reasons. First of all, Raina Wynn is a very fine writer. And in the book, there is a lot of internal stuff going on. There's a lot of descriptions of the landscapes and what they're going through as a couple and all the privations and the difficulties that they face. And there's a lot of kind of internal monologue, if you like. Now, that doesn't happen in the film. The film is all on the surface. And what they try and portray, the undercurrent, if you like, the internal elements that you get very well done in the book, is by Jason Isaacs and Gillian Anderson, who are effectively the only two stars of the film, and in large part the only two characters of the film, who do a lot of kind of Now, some of that is because they are suffering due to the weather and due to this illness that Jason Isaacs suffers from. And partly it's because they're trying to portray, this downtrodden, suffering, windswept, brow-beaten kind of life they are being forced to lead, walking the southwest coast path. But it's just too much of that. I mean, Gillian Anderson, who I actually think is a very fine actress, and I like her in a lot of stuff. She's windswept. She's sunburned. She's lost weight. She portrays a middle-aged woman whose hair is quite straggly, who's walking the southwest coast path, and has developed, partly as a consequence of this walk, I don't know, partly as a consequence of method acting, this kind of husky voice. So she does a lot of, oh yes, we're walking the southwest coast path. Have you got a Cornish pasty, please? And poor Jason Isaacs, right, who is suffering from this illness, which of course is an internal cerebral illness. Well, it's difficult to portray that on a film. So he's portrayed instead with this really over-the-top, excessive, Oscar-winning limp. So the kind of foot dragging. Do you remember John Thor in Morse? Now, I don't know whether John Thor had this kind of foot drop that he has in the Morse things, or whether he had that in real life. Well, what Jason Isaacs has done, he spent a lot of time watching Morse, and he's thought, I can copy that, I can do that foot dragging thing. So he's kind of drags his foot along the foot, a bit like the Elephant Man. And I mean, the poor fella must have had tremendous RSI. He probably sued the filmmakers because he's probably never going to walk properly again. So he drags himself around the path with this big pack on his back, and Gillian Anderson's got a big pack on her back, and sometimes it's raining and sometimes it's sunny. But the trouble with the film is what works in the book, which is a series of relatively minor incidents, which are described by Raina Wynn in a very interesting way, become in the film a series of not very interesting minor incidents. So there isn't any real danger they come across. They're not attacked by wild bears and wolves, which haven't been seen in Cornwall since about 1950s. And they do experience some extremes of weather, but they don't tumble down precipices. They're not caught in vicious snowstorms. They are, there is one sequence where they rather foolishly, I thought, actually pitch their tent on the beach, and the tide comes in. I mean, who knew? And then there's a storm, and they have to pick up the tent and run with it. And Gillian Anderson says, "Leave the tent behind." And Jason kind of says, "No, it's our home." And he picks up the tent and he runs with it. Now you may be saying, "Oh, Gillian, where's the romance in your soul? Why can't you appreciate the glories of the southwest coast of Britain, this wonderful, spectacular scenery?" Well, the trouble is, it's not actually that spectacular. I mean, it's all right, okay? It's quite interesting, yeah. It's, there's some fine vistas, some fine sequences, but it's not. I mean, let's be honest, guys. It's not the Grand Canyon, right? It's not Iceland. It's not the Norwegian fjords. It's not the Gobi Desert. It's a fucking Cornwall, Devon, Dorset. It's full of people in caravans and camper vans and surfers and beatniks and people with long hair and Cornwallians, people that you don't want to meet a month of Sundays. And one of the things that comes across in the book actually quite well is obviously they walk through a series of towns. They walk through St Ives and Newquay and Port Isaac and Penzance and Land's End and so on and so forth. And these are kind of brought to life in the book. But they don't really appear in the film at all. And again, in the book, you get the impression the locals aren't particularly nice to them. They're not particularly friendly to them. Now, they could have done a real job on this in this film. They could have said, "Look, don't go to the southwest, mate. Whatever you do, because the locals are going to be horrible to you. You're not going to be able to find anywhere to sleep. Everyone's going to be mean to you, etc., etc." So they could have done that, or they could have turned it into a real kind of tourist film. Come and see the glories of the southwest. But you look at the film, and you watch the film. You say to whoever it is you go with, if you go with somebody, you say, "What, do you fancy walking the southwest coast path?" And I said, no, I don't actually. I'd rather get a cruise. Malta. You ever been to Malta? Always wanted to go to Malta. Or Granada. I want to go to Granada. Well, no, let's walk the southwest coast path. Let's go to Penzance. Fuck off. What wild camp at the side of a path with the locals coming around. They hit your tent. So you're not allowed to wild camp. No, mate. No, I'm going Egypt. I'm going Croatia. That's what you want to do. And I mean, there's this bit, because, as I say, poor Jason Isaacs, who plays a character called Moth, by the way. I mean, who knew, right? Moth. Why not Butterfly? Why not something? I mean, they've got two kids. One is called Scorpion and one's called Ant. I mean, do you get the feeling there's an insect obsession going along somewhere there? I mean, I can understand Ant is kind of short for Anthony, but what's Scorpion short for? I mean, you might as well call yourself after a heavy metal band. Actually, I think there is a heavy metal band called Scorpion. So, and the other thing about it is in the book, okay, they do the walk, right? They do the 630-mile walk. They walk every step, apart from a short interlude where they stay with a not very nice friend of the couple called Polly, played by one of the women who used to be in Cold Feet, Hermione Norris, that's right. But when they finish that kind of interlude, they go back to where they finished that part of the walk, and then they finish the rest of the walk. So they actually do walk 630 miles. But in the film, they don't. I mean, they do about 180 miles, and it kind of stops. It sort of runs out of steam. The only thing about running out of steam is you've got to have steam to run out of. But there isn't really any steam in the film to start off with. Now, you might think, well, come on, Julian, you can't portray 630-mile walk on a film. You've got to cut it down. Well, yes, I agree with you. But then in that case, why say throughout the films were 2 miles, 8 miles, 16 miles, 34 miles, 80 miles? Why project it as some kind of journey if you're not actually going to run it through to the end of the journey and you're just going to stop sort of less than halfway and say, fuck it, Do we need more scenery of a southwest coast path? Do we need more scenery of a tent? Do we need more scenery of somebody eating a Cornish pasty and having a once in a month shower or something like the rest of us? No, you can't. That's enough. There is there are people who are going to love this film, okay? I mean, the vegans probably, I don't know why, but, the ecology people, they're going to love this film. The hippies are going to love the Back to Nature film, the walkers, the ramblers, all the people that I hate in the world are going to love this film. But if you're after, I don't know, uplifting, and it's not even uplifting, right? You don't come out of it enthused with the joy of walking, with the joy of the natural world. You just come out of it thinking, "Oh, I just spent £9.50, £9.50 on a film that actually I didn't really enjoy that much." So, should you go and see it? No, don't go and see it. Buy the book. The book is good. I enjoyed the book. It's of its type. Okay, it's a genre. But you think, I mean, good luck to you, Maina. Make a fucking mint. Why not? Write a follow up. Why not? She has written a follow up. But the rest of you, are you going to enjoy the Sword Path? No, I don't. I don't think it's boring. It's boring. Okay. And films can be lots of things. Films can be great. They can be wonderful. They can be amazing. They can be shit. They can be absolute disasters. They can be terrible. But there's one thing that a film should not be, and that's boring. And the Sword Path is boring. So read the book. Save your money. Don't go and see the film. And see you next time.